Hi everybody, Jeri Bellini here from Recycle Parts for Art. Welcome to Learn at the Little House. Today's video is a flip through of my altered bank book project that I worked on with Tanya McGuire and Lisa from My Eclectic Life. We did it as a group live, and what that means is that the three of us were on YouTube at the same time, and so what you wound up seeing was little boxes at the bottom of the screen with two of us in those boxes, and one person would be in the full screen, and whoever was hosting it on their channel was able to switch back and forth between the boxes so you would see different people, if that makes any sense. If you're familiar with lives, group lives, then just forget about what I just said. But those of you that aren't, that's the way they work. So the first part of this altered bank book was on my channel, and so I was the host. And the altered bank book was inspired by my friend Monica, the creative beast. She was showing me some of the books, altered books that she had been working on, and one of them was a bank book. And I thought, oh my gosh, I have like a bajillion bank books that I found over the summer, yes, at a flea market. And so I decided to make bank book kits, and I thought it would be fun to do an altered bank book project. So here we are with our altered bank book, and it was two parts. The first part was on my channel, and the second part was on Lisa's channel. And I'll put the in the description box below, I'll put the links to both parts. And I did mention in a previous video that if you didn't have a bank book, you didn't want to buy a kit from me, that was perfectly fine. I explained to you how you could make your own kind of pretend bank book. And so if you're interested in, making one, certainly go back to that first video and check that out. And I still have a couple bank books left, I think, in the Etsy shop. So here we are. I am super happy with it. And this is a piece of hand-dyed sari silk that my friend Juliana Beasley made for me, and I just love it. And so I just wanted to remove it so that you could see the whole thing. Now, in the kit that I made was a piece of book board, this is a book cover, I should say, book cover, not book board. And so I made an extension piece on mine, okay, with the book cover. So it can actually close, and the journal can close like that, or you can leave it open like I showed you before and just kind of leave it open like that. So I can do either one with my bank book. And I kind of went over how I did this in the live, if you're interested. All right. So this little puppy got to be quite a little fatty patty, and I absolutely love when journals get fat like this. That's why I'm so drawn to altered books, because the more you alter a book, the fatter it gets. And altered books are meant to sit out just like this, and you can just see all the glorious goodness inside them when you walk by. So I love this. And let's start with the cover. I had a different piece, I had a piece of metal on the cover for a frame. I wanted you to be able to still see that this was a bank book, but because this got so fat, and you see how it got rounded, the frame kept wanting to pop off. So I just pulled it off, and I decided to put down a piece of this. It's kind of like corrugated cardboard. It was a packing material in a package that I received, and so I just cut out a little window, and I inked it up a little bit, and then I put a little gesso on it to make it look old. And I'm really, really happy with the way it turned out, because it bends with the book, so it doesn't want to pop off. I used tacky glue to glue it down. So I'm just going to kind of go page by page and tell you what I did, and I will be making some videos on some of the techniques that I did in the book that I didn't get to share during the lives. So this is just a bottle cap that I flattened. And then I had some, this is foreign money. I don't know what country this is from, that I glued on top of there. I just wanted something down here. It just felt kind of bare to me. And I have a lot of little brass decorations. So that's a sunflower. I sprinkled the book with kind of a money theme and also flowers. So both. Now in the kit, and I'll tell you whenever I use something in the kit, there was one of these are like file folder clasps, I guess, that you put your paper and stuff on, and I had a bunch of them, so I put one here in the front, and I put another one back here so that I could tie my ribbon through there. Alright, so that's the front. So basically what I did to the front cover is I used a crackle paste, and it didn't really crackle, but it did give me like that plastery look. And then I used a rub-on that comes in, here I have one right here, I'll show it to you. Comes in one of these containers, and it's a metallic rub-on, and I just kind of used my finger and just kind of rubbed it on there. Let me show you the back while we're doing the covers. So the back is a piece, excuse my reach, a piece of plastic tablecloth that I glued down. You could use any kind of embroidery, something that has texture. I glued it down, let it dry really good, and then I just painted over it, and it's got a beautiful texture. And then I used rub-ons on top of it. If you could see, maybe like that you could see it. Yeah, I have you zoomed in pretty far so that you can get a good look. And you can see what I did to attach this this flip out or tip out or whatever you want to call it. I just put a piece of lace on this side and on that side, and just made a hinge. All right, so let's get back to the beginning. So the inside I made this book belongs to, and I found this in my drawer, and it says, made with love by mom. My mom used to stitch these into our clothes, or my clothes when I was a kid. If she would make me something, or if she would crochet something, she would put this little thing. So I found it, and I thought, I'm going to put it in there. This is just a piece of torn brown paper bag, and I used a alphabet stamp for that. So a lot of the things in the book are just little trinkets and treasures that I've had that I just, they're meaningful to me in one way or another. This came off a garment. I think it was an old sweater that was my mom's that really got dry rotted pretty bad, so I trimmed this out and put that there. This is just a little file folder thing. It's pretty old. Can you see how it would be a file folder thing? And I didn't cut it. This is the size. And I just thought it looked like a flower pot when I turned it sideways, so I just thought it would look cute there. And the background technique is masking tape that I did show in the live, how to do that. My sister actually has a masking tape video. And she does masking tape in lots of different ways, and the video is really pretty awesome. If you want to take a look at that, I'll leave the link in the description box. This is a woven book paper. Lisa did this in the first part. And then these are leftover pieces of what we did when we did the book weaving, and I made a flower out of them. And you can see there's a flower on top of a flower. This was another technique that I did with glue. I was in a hangout one weekend. I was just fooling around. I took a stencil and I took some Mod Podge, and I just put the Mod Podge through the stencil, and it didn't really do exactly what I wanted it to do, but I got a lot of texture from it, so I decided to just rip it out in a flower shape and use it. This is just a little cluster of fabric. This is a piece of the lace that I had that I glued together. So this is a piece of lace, and I have a bigger piece here. And it is just a regular, like an old curtain or something that was colored with acrylic paint, watered down, and then a little bit of glue on top of it. It's quite stiff. So I just put a little piece back there, and then there's just a few pieces of fabric and some paper. So it's just like a little bundle that I stitched together, and I hand stitched it. And you can actually like pick it up, and there's a stamp. I put stamps in the kits that I made, and I wanted to use them in this journal. So this part of the piece of paper is a transfer that I showed how I did from a catalog. And just some buttons that were in the kit, and I did a little hand stitching up here, a little hand stitching. So that's like a secret thing, a secret pocket, not a pocket really, but a secret flip. And then you can flip it up again, and this was out of the Farmer's Almanac. Everybody got a page of a Farmer's Almanac, and if you've never seen a Farmer's Almanac, they are a hoot. Some of the things that they write about in there, the advertisements, are really funny. And I have some that I'm going to put in my Etsy shop if you're interested. And that was just a stamp. Alright, this was another masking tape page, and this was like crumpled up masking tape, and these are the flowers that I did with the leftovers from Lisa's weaving. And I just put a couple words there: hope, inspire, celebrate the everyday. And this, let's look at this page first. So this was just a tag that I made, find joy every day. And these are little doodle flowers that I make. I just am in the process of putting digital download of my doodle flowers in my Etsy shop. So by the time this airs, it'll probably be in there. And I just cut them out and use them in different ways in my work. Back here was the napkin collage, or yeah, I think you call it a napkin collage. I had never done one before, and everybody thought that was so funny that I had never done one. Pardon me. There's Betty. And I enjoyed it so much that a couple people sent me some napkins, and I want to thank you for that. So this is just an extra piece of paper that I had that I stuck in there so that you could see the tag better. You couldn't really see the tag against that busyness. So I just kind of stuck that in there. And just glued down a little bit of, stuff. This is actually, pardon me, my allergies are so bad. So this is actually a pocket that is wallpaper. Somebody asked me if we had any wallpaper, and it spurred me on because I had like a huge box of it. So I did list wallpaper scraps in the Etsy shop. But what I do with wallpaper, because vintage wallpaper can be brittle, I actually back it with a piece of sturdy paper. So I backed this piece of wallpaper with a piece of like a packing, that brown packing you get when you buy something from Amazon or something. And it looks like it's stitched down, but it's really just glued down, and I just made those stitch marks. There was rickrack in the kit, and I just thought it would be fun to glue it down on there. This was, you can see the front of it. This is a first issue envelope, and I did put this in the kit too, so I used everything that I put in my kit. So I just stitched around it, and I did do that with the sewing machine. That's a little piece of washi tape, and I scuffed it up with some ink. And this is another one of my doodles that I just put in there, and I do these on security envelopes or whatever. And because this is a bank book, I wanted to put some money, and this is a very, very old dollar bill. You could see it. It's got a red stamp on it and red letters. They don't make them like that anymore. And I just paper clipped it down. So it's what do they call that? A tip-in? I don't even know the right word. So it's a tip-in. And then there's a just a little tag that I made, and this is part of a book spine. I sell book spines in the Etsy shop because I sell a lot of covers and book pages, and I sell all the book parts. And I particularly love these book spines. They have so much texture, and I used it in another place in the book too. And then just a little button, I just stitched that on there. This is embossed, the powder, embossed powder that you know, after you put it down, you use a heat gun on it. You see how it's shiny and it's thick? I just love embossing. All right. So you kind of can't see this page real well, but this is the page back here that I did the catalog transfer. You can kind of see in there the numbers, and I just love the way it makes texture. And again, I just glued some rickrack down that was in the kit. And this was, I thought was cute. It's a book spine, and it said Clark, and Barbara Clark sent me some napkins, and when I saw it, I thought of her. So I wanted to put it in my book. And we did a fabric page in the book, and so this is my fabric page. I just, I put some of that fabric glue, it's really strong, in the crack here, and then I just opened this, it's a piece of canvas, and I just kind of kept pushing my finger down. I'm telling you, that thing is really glued in there. And I glued a bunch of stamps down, as you can see, and then I thought, oh, it'll be fun to stitch around them. So I stitched around them. I did all that before I put it in the book. I went back after it was in the book. I didn't like these empty blocks, so I just put some words in there. And on that side too. And this was, I thought it was a flower. I don't know, it looks like a flower to me. And somebody recently, I think, gosh, was it Beth Schuler? I was watching so many videos because a lot of you have posted flips on your bank books. Somebody said their husband said this was something, and now I can't remember what he said. Oh, forgive me. If I remember, I'll put it in the description box below. And money, it's a foreign penny, or whatever it is. And I did a little texture. It's a little modeling paste there on the side. You can kind of see the transfer a little better here. I really enjoy doing that transfer. All right, this was in the kit too, and it's just a little receipt. And I used, there's like, you know, the yellow part and then the white part. And I used the yellow on the outside. And I had this little tiny envelope. I thought it was so cute. And just, I don't know, stuck a hand in there, and it's holding on to some money. One of my doodle flowers. Dream. And I did do a little, with gel pens, I did a little doodling on that page. This one is the coin pocket that I showed how to fold up and how to make a little pocket out of it. And I stuck, these are one of the tags that I give away in my shop when you purchase something. Sometimes they're this size, sometimes they're ATC sizes, they're all different sizes, but I am very grateful for everyone that supports my Etsy shop and me. And so I like to put grateful, or at least the hearts. You'll always find a heart on one of my tags. So I wanted to put that in there because I am grateful. And this is actually when I had my bead store. I don't know if you can see what that is. Back then, you used to run credit cards through a machine. So this is the metal plate that was on there with the account number. And don't ask me why I saved it, but I just came across it, so I thought because it was money related, I thought I would put it in there. And this was $50 in singles. I can't remember why I went to the bank and got that. I was probably needed some change for something, and I saved it. And of course, this is a $2 bill. And I thought, just, you know, it'd be cute to put some money in here. These are little paper clip flowers, and you know what? I have a bunch of them right here. I made them a couple years ago, and I made a YouTube video on them, on how to make them. They're really stiff, and you can make them all different sizes and colors, and I make them with yarn. So I'll put that link in my description box below. This was made with ribbon yarn. And yeah, this is the last page. So there's not very many pages in this. So I showed everybody how to do this origami pocket. And I also have a video, I'll put that in the description box below too, on how to make these origami pockets. And this is another piece of the book spine, and I have to tell you, some people are like, what? But a dear friend of mine says, really? What are you going to do with that? But I love her anyway. I just love the texture on these, and you can use them for so many different things, and they just make me happy. So I just thought I'd put that in there, and just some money. This was in the kit too. And it's it says 2, 4, and date. And after the fact, I thought, oh, I should have put this in on the front page, and just put, you know, my name and whatnot on there. I am going to keep this book. I often sell things that I make. I often sell them, but I decided to keep this one. We'll talk about that in a second. So this is just a little hidden spot, a little piece of burlap, and I think I might color these in. This was a piece of clip art that I found. So if you can see past that, this is just some brown paper that I scrunched up, and then I put some white gesso on it. I just love things to look kind of grungy. And this was a die cut that somebody sent me, and I'm sorry I don't know who that is because I've had it for years. These are die cuts too that I made. And I'm sorry I don't have it handy. I made my own business cards several years ago, and I put one of these on every one of my business cards. And I actually made the business card with one of these tags. And so I had this little flower up here in the corner, and that had all my information on the tag. And people they just loved the cards. They were really pretty. So I had a bunch of these extra, and let me see, I was going to tell you something else. Oh, the flower. All right, so this is actually a coffee filter, and simple to make. It'll take me 2 seconds to show you in a YouTube video, and you can make a bunch of them. And what I liked about them is, you see how flat that is? So you can leave it dimensional if you want to, and you know how sturdy coffee filters are, so you can leave it dimensional if you wanted to put it on a cover, or if you wanted to put it inside your journal, you could flatten it out. So I'll be showing you how I did that later. Anyway, I forgot to put this back in. I just loved making this. I really did enjoy it. I thought it was super good fun. And I hope those of you that have made one will show me how you made, show me yours. I'd love to see it. And if you made a video or anything, let me know. Oh, I almost forgot to tell you about these. These are, I think they call them cotter pins. I'm not going to try to pull them off. Oh yeah, here, that one came off pretty easy. A cotter pin. And I don't know, what's a cotter pin used for? I couldn't tell you. But I found a bunch of them, and I don't know if you can see that this is brass. And they're old, so I found them at the flea market, so I bought a whole bag of them, and they're different sizes. Some are really long and some are shorter. But they're perfect to hang charms from. So I just put this little angel, I love angels. I just put this little angel charm on there, and then just stuck it on the book like that. Just stick it down. It's not going anywhere. And so it just dangles off the back. And I liked it so much I decided to put another one on. And this one's a shorter one. I didn't cut that. And these little pieces are actually left over from my bead store. We used to make earrings and sell them, and we'd make samples and whatnot. So I have a big box full of these little dangles. So I thought, well, it's a nice memory to put it on my book. So there you have it. Oh, I just loved making this. It was so much fun. And look forward to some more fun things. I'm going to be working on a series pretty soon on what to do with book text, because I have a ton of it. So there you have that. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch my video. I really appreciate your support. And please subscribe if you haven't done so already, and give me a thumbs up. And I would love, love, love to have you on my newsletter. And I'll put the link in the description box below. I send out a little newsy note maybe once a month. And just, you know, tell you what's new in the Etsy shop or what's new in my life in YouTube. I give out coupon codes and just that kind of thing. You know, I run sales once in a while, and I'll let you guys know. So that's about it. I hope everybody has a blessed day full of love and recycled art, and I will see you again hopefully very soon. Bye.